Welcome to another day in the Matrix. Waters above crypto. We're getting a mixed market today with some standout plays in the altcoins. XRP seeing some resistance at the Fibonacci golden pocket like we mentioned in yesterday's video. The dollar index continues to show weakness as the traditional markets approach new highs. This sort of setup is very bullish for crypto, so we'll dive into the charts to see what the story is leading into the weekend. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with the esoteric science of Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. If you haven't already subscribed and you like what we're doing here, feel free to subscribe. Give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. And for those of you who want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my mastermind course. There's a promo code in the pinned comment below with instructions to get lifetime access to the course with a discount. My email's in the description box to get in contact with me. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. So I wanted to start this one off with a little decode for tomorrow and Saturday with the 5-7 and 5-8 date numerology, being May 7th and May 8th. And I'll be working on another decode for the Mastermind course today to break down the upcoming lunar and solar eclipses that'll be happening in the end of this month and the beginning of June. I'm not going to be saying this word because it will get me in put me in a detention. But this word, I think, is playing itself in the narrative very nicely. Everyone's falling for it. Most of you won't be because you're enlightened. But the masses are struggling with this thing. And the reason why I find a lot of significance in this is because of the 5-7, like May 7th, which is tomorrow. May 7th with the 5-7 date numerology. Another way we could write this would be 5-7-2021. And this 17 number is crucial because it plays its way into some other really important words such as ritual, like 17. And also another thing about ritual is you get the 81 and 45 connection, which comes back to Venus. And I've been talking about Venus time and time again. And I think I'm making a big discovery here. How Venus and the word ritual have such, I mean, you can't really get better than this, right? So you have the 27, 27, 81, 81, and then 4, 5, 5, 4, as above, so below. Really interesting stuff, and that's all connected coming back to this word, the C-scam. So coming back to the number 57, I'm also thinking about Venus in regards to tomorrow's date being the 5-7 date numerology and how this is all tied in. And tomorrow being a Friday, which is Viernes or Venus. So there's another tie there when you're talking about the day of the week that this 5-7 date numerology is happening on. And also the 57 coming back to these folks. New World Order with the 75, again, everything mirrored, 57, 75, as above, so below. And of course, one of the mottos that we get, Ordo ab Chaos, or in English, Order out of Chaos, with 75. Of course, we got the 222 and the 71 in reverse, like 17, like we were talking about earlier, which is tomorrow's date when written out in numerology. Also, if you were to write out this other term, which we've been using here quite often, as above, so below. It's a really important one. We're getting this 222 again that was connected back there. It's amazing how these numbers work. And it's amazing how we sort of disregard them until we start entering this realm of Gematria and how Gematria is so powerful in tying all these words together. As above, so below. It's amazing. So another connection to the 58, like we're getting with as above, so below, like New World Order with the 58, Again, a huge connection here, and then we get the 75, like tomorrow's date numerology. So if you're someone who lives internationally, you'd be writing the date as 7-5. This is all tying into tomorrow. Again, with the 58 connection, like as above, so below. Another thing to touch on with this 58, what do you know? 58. And this is the narrative I think we're going to start seeing painted moving forward in a new light. I think perhaps tomorrow and the next day, which will be May 8th as 5-8, we'll start a new narrative around these things. And I believe it will be looked at from a term called domestic terrorists, aka anyone who doesn't take part in this sham will be considered as such. And they'll start building up this narrative like they have in India, and how they've tied this all to the infection, the C-scam infection. So this 58 significance coming back to this Saturday. And the reason that Saturday is really important because with this word, we have the 42. And of course, Saturday is for Saturn, like that 42 connection. So this is working out in all regards. I mean, it's kind of blowing me away that I've started to deep dive into this. Another thing we could do is add 5 plus 8, which will be the dates, plus 20 plus 21. And of course, we're getting that 54 and that 54-45 connection, like we were showing earlier with Venus. And I mean, both ways you're writing this date. If you type the 5-8, 20, 21, you're getting the 18. And then if you type the date how I just did before, you're getting the 54. And those both come back to Venus. So this is a transition date. These next 2 days are going to be a heavy transition into something that will come moving into the 19th week. Again, the reason Venus has this significance is because we are in the 18th week of the year, and we're still seeing these 18s, 54s play themselves out throughout this whole week. Tomorrow, I expect something to happen. It'll probably reflect in the stock market. It will reflect in cryptos. So let's move on to the charts. This date that I circled right here is on Bitcoin back when the recovery happened from the C-scam crash. You could see it came down on March 12th and then had its lowest price on March 13th, which was a Friday the 13th. The Friday the 13th that Bill Gates stepped down from Microsoft and began his journey towards the most profitable business model ever, which is the C-scam shot, which has probably been in the works for 10 years now. Anyways, this circle of time is around where we would be entering. So right here we have April 29th, this big green candle, and then this secondary big candle is on May 7th, which is tomorrow. And then right after that day, there was a sharp sell-off. So this sell-off coming down about 20%. Wow. So that pullback being around 20%, and then right here on May 11th was the halving, the last halving event for Bitcoin. And basically a year away from the last halving is what we're about to experience. And that anniversary of the last halving is typically a very bullish thing for Bitcoin. It has been historically. A year past the halving, you always see new higher prices that are, I mean, sometimes 5, 6, 700% from where they were in the halving. And that has deemed true in this bull run as well. Considering the day of that halving event, Bitcoin, the day before it almost got below 8,000. It sat at around 8,150 on both of these wick lows. So is there a potential for the market to pull back 20% tomorrow for Bitcoin, which would bring altcoins down, maybe 30, 35, 40%? I don't know. I don't pretend to know, but I'm just telling you guys so that you could use your own minds. I showed you the decode, and just do what you got to do from there. This isn't financial advice. But let's get into the TA, which has nothing to do with everything I just mentioned. This will be non-emotional and not my opinion. This is just what I'm seeing in the charts. So a couple moments ago, around 3:22, if I remember, 2:33, the market just had a huge sell-off. across the board. The volume increase has been insane since that happened. If you were to look at like a 30-minute candle, you'll see that the volume just shot up right around this time. And it's probably not by accident. I've been telling everyone that expect turbulence this whole 18th week of the year. It's just part of it with that connection to Venus. You have to expect it. It's part of the astrological game that we're all a test subject of. And I've been telling everyone until Bitcoin sees this 8, the yellow moving average, cross above the 55, that I expect this market to move sideways and down unless Bitcoin has a dramatic rise to the upside or a dramatic sell-off to the downside. If Bitcoin moves fast to the downside, it will bring every altcoin down. Not every single one, of course. There's 9,000 altcoins. So when people are commenting on the other videos saying, oh, but you know, Dogecoin still, who cares, man? There's so many cryptos that get affected by Bitcoin. Let's just say 90% of them. Now do you feel happy? The point being is that when Bitcoin makes a sharp move, Bitcoin being the collateral layer in this space with the most liquidity, the traders, the people who are moving this market with leverage, they are going to move the rest of the market that way. Why? Because most of those shit coins are being manipulated by Tether and stable coins, okay? And the profits that are being taken in those shit coins are in BTC. It's just the way it is. Until this year, people really just looked at this as, you know, it's a way to get more fiat. But before this cycle, a lot of people treated altcoins to just stack more sats. This is a different environment though, because now we have the institutions, we have everyone holding a smartphone where you could just go on Coinbase app and buy Bitcoin instantly. It's a different environment right now compared to 2016. It's a lot harder, right? It was a lot harder in the past to get crypto. Now it's super easy. I remember just around this transition here from October into December, Coinbase listed like so many new projects. Binance started listing so many new projects. But back here, back in May, a year ago, you couldn't really get that many projects on Coinbase. So there's been a massive adoption and change in this whole cryptocurrency space, and it's because this is the year of the blockchain technology starting to be in the hands of normal people. It's just part of the transition. Eventually, when this whole, show changes, Bitcoin will lose its volatility. A lot of altcoins will gain Bitcoin will lose its volatility. A lot of altcoins will gain more of a utility function, and then this asset will mature. But until then, it's pump and dumps. It's chop. And as long as you have chop, you could take advantage of the price action. That's all really you have to do. If you bought a year ago, you're sitting pretty today. But if you buy today, it's a little bit more precarious of a market to be throwing your life savings into. Anyways, with that being said, Bitcoin is seeing harsh rejections on this 618. Now let's move on to XRP, because the bigger story here is with XRP and how it just finally tapped the 786, then got pulled back very, very dramatically. Now, this is still a sign of strength though. As long as it remains in the 618, the golden pocket, it's bullish and very nice to see this. But if it can't make a new high or can't close above the 786 for a daily candle, this is just chopping around. And this can still pull back all the way to the $1.12 range. It's very possible. This move to the upside and how it messes with people is what traps bulls. And when people start putting in all their money into these levels, the whales see that and they start going the other direction. It's just how they go. Again, I'm not saying this market's going to return back down 100%. I'm just saying that technically it's possible. And don't be flustered if it happens, because I warned you. The same thing goes to the upside. This market yesterday night, if you asked me how it looks, I would have said it's a fake out. People would have called me crazy, but look at where we're at right now. Zilliqa this morning was up 25%, peeled back. Ethereum was up, hit a new high today and then got melted down. This market's returning now. So crypto is so volatile. It's not good to be getting fancy in this market at this time. One thing I will say though is the dollar index is definitely weakening. It's showing a sign of weakness. A daily close below this yellow moving average would be bearish. And then I would expect this bottom trend line to come into play because it's held at 1, 2, 3, confirming it as a trend line. And this could be a potential downside, and the target would be right here to 89.5. If that move happens, guess what will happen for crypto? Crypto will skyrocket. So if the DXY stays bearish, the stock market will do really well, and then in return, you'll see cryptos go up, which will most likely be the 19th week of the year, which Taurus equals 19 in Gematria, and I've been talking about that time and time again. So traditional markets definitely doing well today. Dow Jones hit a new all-time high. Of course that's bullish. S&P recovered. NASDAQ's holding on the 55. This is a good structure. This isn't market crash territory just yet. So I know there's a lot of narratives being built right now around what's going on and to be scared and this, that, and the third, but it's also why I keep being so cautious and telling people that this market seems like it's not ready yet to move to the upside, and it kind of just wants to chop around. You'll know when this market's ready to move up, because you'll wake up and you'll see everything moving up in harmony, not just one isolated coin. If Bitcoin dominance keeps peeling back like it has, consecutive daily closes lower for so many weeks now, the altcoins will do really well, but they'll do really well based in the Bitcoin pair. It's not like they'll continue to do well always in the USD pair. Something to keep in mind. It could continue to lose dominance and the altcoins can still chop sideways. Something that people disregard when they look into BTC.D, market cap dominance. Unless you're taking all of your gains in Bitcoin, this doesn't really, it's not really super relevant for people. But anyways, with that being said, this market is just another day chopping around. I don't expect anything good to come tomorrow based on that decode that I did, the narrative. I would love to see this market pull back, but there is a descending resistance that Bitcoin could break out of. Even then, I would look for closures above the 786 on every single crypto. Until we get a daily close above the 786, which for XRP would be $1.74, let's just say, essentially where it hit the high today. Oh, by the way, it hit $1.76, kind of like the Gematria. Anyways, until then, we're just chopping around. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day in the matrix. Stay safe out there. Know where we are in the market and get your emotion out of this, because this is not a good time to have emotion. Much love.